Hi everyone, today me and my team will be talking about software design specifications SDS for ATM system and CDM system. My name is Chao Jing Hao, and this document is all about ATM system and CDM system software design specifications. It's prepared by Yong Kai Yin, Siti Noor Fatiha and Noor Ain as a business analyst, LJ Bank, received by Elvis Wong, the lead developer, and approved by Chao Jing Hao, project manager, LJ Bank. Okay, we'll start from introduction. The purpose of this project is to provide the details of the design of this system. It's also to give a better understanding of the design process for this system and to address the design implementation of automated teller machine and cash deposit machine system. The scope for this is to written for the ATM system and CDM system. It contains information about system configuration, system architecture, low-level design, and high-level design. The intended audience of these documents are the LJ software development team from LJ Sdn Bhd to the client, which is the bank. The product is Automated Teller Machine System, or ATMS in short, and Cash Deposit Machine System, or CDMS. ATMS is an application which allows users to deposit, withdraw, inquire, and transfer money to or from their accounts, while CDMS allows users to deposit and payment transaction by cash. The definition of ATM is the physical machine that offers transaction service to a user including cash withdrawal, cash deposit, fund transfer, and balance inquiry, while a CDM is a self-service terminal that lets you make deposit and payment transaction by cash. All successful transactions are immediately credited and customer will be issued an advice slip confirming the transaction. For idle is a state of ATM system where the system is on but not servicing any user in this state. ATMs is waiting for the insertion of an ATM card to initiate a user session. A bank personnel responsible, which is the operator, is for physical maintenance activities on the ATM, including but not limited to starting up and shutting down ATM, refilling the cash dispenser in ATM, and removing check envelopes from ATM. While a transaction is a task performed using ATM by a user, including a cash withdrawal, cash deposit, fund transfer, and balance inquiry. A user is a bank customer who holds an ATM card and is accessing the ATM. And now I'll pass to my friend to continue the rest of the project. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Yong Kai Yin and I will continue about the part system consideration and system architecture. So for related software and hardware, the ATM and CDM itself is an ambiguous software which only can run on ATM machine itself. So for the end user characteristic, we got two types of user, which is operator and end user. So operator is our bank worker, which mainly performing maintenance activities on ATM, which have basic knowledge on ATM maintenance skills like starting and shutting down the ATM and refilling the ATM cash dispenser. So second type of user is end user, which also our bank holder or account user, which is a general individual who use the ATM. So they have the basic knowledge on bank transaction, include like performing cash withdrawal, cash deposit, fund transfer, and bank inquiry. So every system itself got their constraint. So for this general constraint is we build it as a Java application. It only can run on Java environment. So secondly, ATM CDM only can perform a transaction while having active connection with the bank transaction server. So for the goal and guidelines, it requires service to end user, which similar design to the ATM currently in use by the industry. So this is to avoid the confusion to the user due to the total unavailability. So uh, the system, the development method we're choosing is OOAD, which also known as object-oriented analysis and design. So it got 7 steps. Firstly is to analyzing requirements. Secondly is to doing the UML design, like use case diagram, use case description. Thirdly is analyzing the classes that will be needed for implementation. So fourth is to design the class diagram, sequence diagram, and state chart. Fifth is to design detailed design and implementation. Six is testing. Seven, maintenance. So for the system architecture itself, it can differentiate by two two level. So the top level is have the ATM man, ATM applet, and then the below one is the ATM package. Inside ATM package, we got ATM classes, session classes, transaction classes, physical. So when the end user go through the ATM itself, it will call a session. The session will call an object inside the transaction. So the user can either perform transaction, withdrawal, deposit, transfer, and inquiry. So the session in the same time we also utilize the physical component like card reader, cash dispenser to interact with our end user to perform their task, the task they want. That's all from me, and I'll pass to the next one. Thank you.
Okay, I will talk about subsystem architecture. For the first diagram is startup. During startup, the operator panel component will inform ATM of changes to state of switch, while ATM component will start up when switch is turned on by operator, and the cash dispenser component will keep track of cash on hand, starting with initial amount. The second diagram is shutdown. During shutdown, the operator panel component will inform ATM of changes to state of switch, and the ATM will shut down when switch is turned off by the operator. We move on to the third diagram, which is withdrawal. The card reader component will inform ATM when card is inserted, while customer console will display a message. The ATM component will start a new session when card is inserted by customer. Then it will log storage account information of customer at log component. For cash dispenser component, it will report whether enough cash is available to dispense cash, and it will log dispensing of cash. It will print receipt in receipt printer component, and the receipt component will represent information to be printed on the receipt. Next is deposit diagram. The difference between deposit diagram and the previous one is withdrawal diagram is only the envelope acceptor. The envelope acceptor component will accept envelope from the customer, and it will report if time out or cancel, and it will log receiving an envelope in log component. Meanwhile, the previous one is for dispense cash. The fifth diagram is transfer. During transfer, there will be no cash dispenser and envelope acceptor. That's the difference between transfer diagram and the previous two diagrams, which is withdrawal and transfer diagram. So the ATM will provide access to component parts for session and transaction. Lastly, balance inquiry diagram. So basically this is to check the balance only and log storage account information of customer. Other than that, the other component will be the same as the previous diagram.
Now let's talk about system states diagram. The first diagram is for startup. At startup, we will start off with the first state called off. During this state, the machine will display system not available. When the machine is switched on or the startup is being performed, it will go to the second state, which is idle. During this state, the machine will display a message saying, please insert your card. After the user inserts the card, it will move to the third state, which is verification. Now let's move on to the second diagram, which is shutdown. During the shutdown operation, it starts off with the idle state. After the switch is turned off or shutdown is being performed at the machine, it will straight away go to the second state, which is off state. At off state, it will display a message saying system is not available. Now let's move on to the third diagram. This diagram is for session verification. It will start off with the first state called startup. And when card is inserted, it will move to the second state, which is read card. During this state, the machine will read the card, whether it is acceptable or unacceptable, if the card is valid or invalid. If the card is unreadable, it will straight away move to the state 6, whereas the card will be ejected. Meanwhile, if the card is readable or valid, it will go to the next state, which is read pin, the state 3. The machine will then read the pin coming from the user. If the pin is invalid, it will straight away go to state 6. If not, it will go to the next state, which is state 4. At this state, user will be allowed to select the transaction that they want to perform. And after the selection has been chosen, it will move to state 5. If the user want to cancel the operation, it will move to state 6. At state 5, user can perform the transaction, and the machine will ask whether they want to continue another session or not. If they want to continue, it will go back to state 4. If not, it will go to state 6 to eject card. Now let's move on to the diagram of selection of ATM or CDM operation. It will start with the first state startup. When the card is inserted, the machine will ask ATM or CDM. If the user chooses any of this operation, the machine will show the menu at state 3. Or if the user wants to cancel the operation, it will click cancel button and end the session.
Hi everyone, I'm Elvis and I'll continue in talking about the system state of our ATM/CDM system. So the first system state I'll be talking about is the withdrawal process. So in the state 1, user they will choose the transaction. In this case, they will choose the withdrawal. In the state 2, user will choose the account. So for example, it's the saving account or the current account. So in the state 3, user they will enter the amount of they wish to withdraw. So in the state 4, the system/machine they will check the balance of the user account whether the entered amount is sufficient or not. So in the state 5 is the one that the amount is sufficient, so the money will be drawn out. In the state 6 is the one that the money is not sufficient. User will be asked whether they wish to continue session or not. If yes, they will move to the state 1, else the session will be ended immediately. So after the cash has been drawn out, the machine will print out receipt for the user if the user wish to. So the next one is the system state for the cash deposit. So in the state 1 user, they will choose the cash deposit transaction. The state 2, they will choose the account. And the state 3, the user, they will physically enter the cash into the ATM machine. So the state 4, the ATM machine, they will print out the receipt to the user if they wish to. So the state 5, the machine will eject the card and the session is ended. So, okay, the state diagram for the transfer. So the state 1 user, they will choose the transaction. In this case, it's a fund transfer. The state 2, the user will choose the account. And the state 3 is the one that user, they will choose the account where the user want to transfer money to. So the state 4 is the one, the user, they enter the recipient account number into the ATM machine. So in the state 5, they will enter the amount that they wish to transfer, amount of transfer. So the state 6 is the one that the machine, they will check the balance of the user whether it's sufficient or not. In the state 7, okay, the user, where the amount is sufficient, then the money will be transferred. So the state 8 is the one the amount is not sufficient. So the machine will ask whether they will continue the session. If yes, they go to state 1, else the session will be ended. So once the money has been successfully transferred, you move to the state 9, where the machine will print a receipt to the user if they wish to, and the session will be ended. So the last one is the balance inquiry. So in the state 1, the user, they will choose the transaction, in this case check balance, and the state 2 is to choose the type of account, and the state 3 where the machine will display the current balance of the chosen account. So the state 4 is the user that the machine will print the receipt to the account, print the receipt of the account to the user if the user wish to. So the state 5 is the one that if the user wish to continue session, they will move to the back to the state 1, else the session will be ended. So I hope you understand. This is from me, and thank you for listening.